Very good. So today our class is about a topic, continue with the topic of in Genesis, and talk about homosexuality. To one who says, for me, I am allowed. I am allowed. So homosexuality. It comes, it's a ramification of the section that we are going to learn. And the section we are going to learn is chapter 20. Would you read it, Sandy? Chapter 20. You have it? I don't hear you.
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry. Okay, chapter 20.
Yeah.
And he journeyed from there, Abraham did, to the land of the south, and he settled between Kadesh and between Shur, and he sojourned in Gerar. Abraham said of Sarah his wife, "My sister is she." So he sent Abimelech, king of Gerar, and took Sarah. And God came to Abimelech in a dream of the night and said to him, "Indeed, you are to die because of the woman whom you have taken, and moreover, she is the maid of a husband." But Abimelech had not come near her, and so he said, "My Lord, is it so that a nation, even though it is righteous, you will slay? Did not he himself tell me, 'My sister is she'? And she, even she herself, said, 'My brother is he.' In the innocence of my heart and the cleanness of my hands have I done this." And he said to him, God did in the dream, "Also I knew that it was in the innocence of your heart that you did this, and I prevented, even I, you from sinning against me. For that reason, I did not allow you to touch her. But now return the wife of the man, for a prophet is he, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, know that you shall surely die, you and all that is yours." Abimelech rose early in the morning. He called to all his servants, and he spoke all of these things in their ears, and frightened were the people exceedingly. And then Abimelech called to Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? How have I sinned against you that you brought upon me and upon my kingdom a sin that is so great? Deeds that ought not to be done have you done unto me." And Abimelech said to Abraham, what did you see that you did such a thing as this?" Abraham said, "Because I said, it is solely that there is no fear of God in this place, and they will slay me on account of my wife. Moreover, indeed, my sister, the daughter of my father, is she, and though not the daughter of my mother, and she was to me a wife. And so it was when he caused me to wander, God did, from the house of my father, I said to her, let this be your kindness, which you shall do for me at any place such a place that we come there. Say of me, my brother is he." So Abimelech took sheep and cattle and slaves and maidservants and gave them to Abraham, and he returned to him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, "Here is my land before you. In the place that is good in your eyes, settle." And to Sarah he said, Indeed, I have given 1,000 pieces of silver to your brother. Indeed, it is for you a covering of the eyes for all who are with you, and with all you will be vindicated.
All right, so the story is straightforward. Abimelech, the king of Gerar, abducts Sarah. Abraham knew that hide the fact that she is married because he said this place doesn't fear God. People don't fear God, and God appeared to Abimelech at night, warned him. Abimelech defended himself, and he returned Sarah to her husband. To remind you, our topic is the story is simple, but as we start learning it, we'll see that is a ramification to many other issues like homosexuality. And to those who just join us, the topic today is about one who said, I'm allowed to perform homosexuality, or I'm not forbidden, or I am allowed to. To me, homosexuality is allowed. That's our topic. We will see how we get there. Now, so as we always do, we have a section in the Torah that we have to discuss. The story is simple. Abraham, a wife is abducted. The question is, before we dive into detail, is it aligned with other stories of Abraham? We remember that all the stories about Abraham revolve around theft. And Noahide commandment number 4, stealing. And indeed, the story is straightforward. Hit the right place. It's in the right place. Abduction is a kind of theft. So it fits. Now, of course, why does the Torah repeat all the stories of Abraham revolve around theft, but each one has its own message, own highlight on about theft that otherwise we wouldn't know. The question is, why does the Torah bring this story here, and what can we learn from it in the frame of Noahide commandment number 4? So what is the difference? So let's read it. Let's start reading and see what's special about this section. The Torah starts, chapter 20, verse 1, and Abraham traveled from there. And Rashi comment, from there, from Sodom and Gomorrah, which is the previous chapter. So there is a connection to the previous chapter. And a simple explanation, Rashi had right away, he didn't want to dwell near a ruined city. Everything is destroyed there. The smoke is still in the sky. So he traveled from Hebron. He lived in Hebron, not far from Sodom, down the hill. Now he moved to the west of Hebron. It is where Beersheba today is. So Gerar, the city of Gerar, Philistine city Gerar, is about close to Beersheba. It's an offshoot of the Philistinian settlement along the shore. So the most inland part of the Philistine land was Gerar. And the local king, there were 5 kings, local king of Philistine. The king of Gerar was one of them. It's the most eastern part of of the land of Philistine. So Abraham settled there. That's a simple pshat, but there is of course, we are talking about Torah. And when the Torah says he moved from Sodom and Gomorrah, it means there is some spiritual movement here. What was a change from Sodom and Gomorrah? And the answer is very simple, straightforward. What was the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah? If you remember, the Torah says they knew they were evil. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah were sinners and exceedingly evil to Hashem, YHVH. And as we learn about Sodom and Gomorrah, they knew the commandment, they knew Hashem, Rashi says, they knew Hashem, but they rebelled against him on purpose. So they did all the commandment, the opposite of all the commandment on purpose in rebellion. So they were overturned. Since they did the opposite, they were overturned. Measure for measure. Now he moved from Sodom and Gomorrah to Gerar. And what was special about Gerar? Abraham says, there is no fear of Elohim in this place. The focus is now on Elohim. So while the city of Sodom and Gomorrah didn't fear YHVH, they rebelled against her, the city of Gerar, they have no fear of Elohim, which means it doesn't say they didn't know Elohim. They know Elohim. Like the city of Gomorrah, like Sodom and Gomorrah, they knew Hashem and they rebelled. The city of Gerar, they knew Hashem Elohim, but they didn't fear him. Wow, that's a special status. It's not that they were ignorant people like the Noahide. They knew Elohim, they knew the seventh commandment, like the city of Sodom and Gomorrah people knew the seventh commandment, and yet they did not fear. So that's a special status. How did they come to know Elohim? You ask yourself. They live in Canaan there, the Philistine. The same question, actually, we ask about the Sodom and Gomorrah. And the answer is, the Sodom and Gomorrah people learn it from Shem, the son of Noah, who had academy of Torah Academy in Jerusalem, and many people learned there, including the city of Sodom, who learned from Shem about the Genesis, the Hashem, and that they knew Hashem, but they rebelled against it. Here, the same token you can say about the city of Gerar. Also, they learned from at one point from Shem. He was known in the whole area. And they learned about Elohim, they learned about seven commandments, and they adopted them, but they did not fear him, Elohim. They didn't take him seriously. It was outside there, a nice society, without fear. Here is a notion that comes from here, obviously, that one can learn entire Talmud, you can learn a big rabbi, but if you don't fear Elohim in your heart, it's nothing. Okay. The key to everything is fear of Elohim. When a child is wake up in the morning, the custom is the mother teaches him to say, "Thank you, Hashem, Modeh ani for turning my spirit, my soul to my body," and she sings with him. The first wisdom is fear Hashem. Reshit Chokhmah, Yirat Hashem. So a child 2 or 3 years old, he already learned that fear Hashem is the first thing to do. Here, Abimelech knew the law, knew the 7 commandments, knew that abduction is forbidden, and yet they didn't fear him. So slowly we try to pinpoint, to understand what the story is all about. So according to what I just said, it looked like Gerar is actually on top of spirituality among all the nations that Abraham met there. They knew Hashem, they knew the 7 commandments, and they just didn't lack of fear of God, but they knew Torah. And that claim set them on top of all the other nations. Let's see if this claim is true. I'll go with you. As Abraham traveled in the land, that's very important part in our class today to understand it. When Abraham came to the Holy Land, he travels. And as he travels, he meets there seven categories of people. And the Torah presents them, Moses presents them, not at random, but in an ascending order of faith. One is higher than the other. And obviously, there is a design here. Let's go over quickly about the design. It's very important. First, as he comes to Canaan, he meets the Canaanite. Well, the Canaanite were at the bottom because they practiced, not only were idolaters, but they also practiced burning the children to the Molech, human sacrifice. They did do it. And also they practiced sacred prostitution, beside other things. So they were at the bottom. This is the first nation he meets in the Parshat Lech Lecha. Following that, comes the story of the Egyptian. Sarah is abducted by Egyptian Pharaoh, local Pharaoh, and the Egyptians are higher than the Canaanite. They also were idol worshippers, but no, they didn't practice burning the children to any god by fire. They were a little more sophisticated. They believed in the death. They worshipped the dead, the death. They had all many faults. Homosexuality was very rampant, but they were higher than the Canaanite, at least in the term of not burning children to the Molech. Next came, in the order of the 7 nations that he meets, are what we call Abraham allies. Aner, Eshkol, Mamre. These are those who became his military allies. And they also believed in the 7 commandments. They were allies of Abraham. And Abraham associated with them, thinking they were close to him. They will join his faith. But they failed. When did they fail? When the war erupted, and it took a loot. Abraham denied the loot, the spoil. Abraham, they said, I don't know touch of that. They did. And they violated theft. And that was enough for Abraham to set him apart from them. He knew that these allies are good as long as they gain money from them. They share the glory. But when it comes to loot money, they can go away. They can violate the 7 commandments. This is already three type. Number 4 was Melchizedek, the king of Salem, who really seemed to be very close to Abraham. He greeted Abraham as he come from war. This is just 2 chapters before ours. And he hailed him and he says, "Blessed is Abraham to the supreme El who owns the heaven and earth." Oh, that. So he who possesses, who owns, who purchased the heaven and earth. So he was very close to Abraham. He knew that Abraham was teaching that Hashem is not only the creator, but the owner, Adonai. He is the one, because of, by the virtue of the artist who owns his masterpiece. So Hashem is the owner, and that's the implications. He owns everything, then theft is forbidden. That I belong to him, I belong only to him. So Melchizedek knew that, and he hailed Abraham, "Hey, welcome Abraham to Hashem, the supreme El, who only seems to be very close." But the rabbi said, there is a fault here. He was very close, but he carried with him some of his idolatry. Supreme God. Why did he say supreme God? There is only one God. By saying, "Blessed is Abraham, the supreme God," it means that there are some inferior God, some God partner, or a family. God can have a mother, son, a brother, or partner. So he carried with idolatry into Abraham's faith, although he looked like very close to Abraham. He did it not in a malice form. He just didn't come out enough from his idolatry. He slept, so to speak, with him some of his former idolatry into Abraham's faith. Supreme. So he was not quite eligible to be really like Abraham. So we already have 4. Number 5 would be Shem himself, Noah's son, who was really a righteous person. So that we already 5 categories. Next come Shem disciples, Sodom, Gomorrah, who learn from Shem, but they rebel against God, against Hashem. So they were originally high, and Lot decided to dwell with them. These people knew Hashem, but they rebel, finally they rebel against her. And then number 7 comes Gra, who did the opposite. They knew Hashem also from Shem, but they didn't fear Elohim. The focus is on Elohim. They didn't fear the law, dwelling in the law. So here we have all the 7, ascending order, and indeed Gra, in this observation, Gra sits indeed at the top of the line. So Abraham come to stay with them, and he hide the fact that Sarah is his wife, because he knows that these people he cannot trust. On the surface, they are very civilized, but in fact, they may kill him. They may kill him for his wife. The Midrash even says, explain the way they would have done it. He feared, they won't. He didn't fear that as soon as he step out, somebody come and stick a knife in his throat for his wife. No. This was done, you understand, this would be done clandestinely. He will cross the street and a car will hit him. And then the people of the king will come and comfort Sarah. Said, "Oh, we don't want to protect you. Come to our Lord's house. Otherwise, if you stay here, you're not safe." So they will not violate the law officially on the surface, but they will do it secretly behind the scene, not fearing Elohim. The people will not see it. The people will clap their hand and, "Oh, king, are doing nice thing." How bad it is, how really we're sorry about the accident that happened to Abraham. But so nice the king is. You see, he took the wife, he took his sister, and he even took it to his home. So they clap their hand. Little they know what Elohim knows, that they violated here the law. So that's the kind of fear that Abraham had. And as a prophet, he knew, Hashem says, this guy is a prophet, he says to Abimelech, he know your secret. So in order to kind of, in order to have a glimpse of what we are talking here, a little deeper, because you can learn the section at different levels, obviously. Let's think for a moment about example. I'll give you an example. Suppose a Messiah come, Messiah ben David come, and he gathered Israel to the land of Israel. He built the temple, he built Jerusalem, and he is now sit on a throne, and he decided to travel abroad. He take his beautiful wife, and he traveled abroad to find allies among the nations. Well, for the Messiah, by the definition, you know, all earth is the status of the Holy Land. So he's like Abraham traveling in the land of Israel. And as the Messiah planned his trip, and he called a travel agent and he buys some tickets. So he wondered, where can he spend the night? Whom we can trust? You know, they look at the globe, you turn the globe around, and there are many nations there. There are nations that, like the Canaanites, are completely idolaters. They don't even know the Torah. They don't recognize about the Messiah. They don't know anything about him. Yeah, they may learn. It may take time, but right now they are not qualified to host him. He cannot trust them. They are not his ally. And as he continued to rotate the globe, you see all the nations, and they come up with a different level of faith. Some of them already heard that he is here, so they become his ally. They start learning the 7th commandment. But Abraham knows that, like Aner Mamre, they are not his really ally. They want just to share his glory. They are not really. He wouldn't spend the night with them and not leave his wife, beautiful wife, with them. And some of them will be like, let's say, Melchizedek. They learn even more. They already bereft with Torah and Midrashim, but they still carry some of our former idolatry with them. The supreme heir, so there are many other heirs. There are hell is a question of oneness. They are not quite out of their former idolatry. And as you look at the globe, you find, oh, there is one group, let's say United States, there are Noahide, who really learn the Torah, and they already accepted me, and they really fear God. They take it seriously. With them, I can sleep. They are my allies. So this would be like the equivalent of what Abraham is doing here. Let's go back to, without further detail, let's go to Abraham, to Abimelech. Now, we're not finished with him yet. The question is now, let's go with the story. So Elohim appears at Abimelech at night. Seems like Elohim, Midrash says, wow, Abimelech was a righteous person. He merited revelation, although it was night, but still. And that fit our story and our explanation. So Elohim tell him, you are dead. Incha met. Why? Because this woman that you took, she's a married one. So what was Elohim saying? So Rashi, one explanation is, you are dead from now on. I exempt you from kidnapping. No, I exempt you from violating adultery. Let's focus a little bit. What Abimelech did, he kidnapped, violating theft, and he had in mind to cohabit with her. He didn't do it because the Torah says Hashem afflicted with some affliction in his house, the entire household, and they couldn't perform sexually. So Hashem saved him from really transgressing adultery, but potentially he was there. So he transgressed one kidnapping, one law, kidnapping, and the other law, he planned to, had he slept with her, he would have transgressed also adultery, even though he didn't know. So that one explanation says, that's true for the past. I exempt you from the past. But in Chamet, from now on, you are dead. If you don't bring him, send her back home to her husband. So you are dead in a sentence from henceforth. That's the regular, simple explanation. And indeed, Abimelech says, oh, wow, I'm sending her back. Please, God, don't touch me, don't do anything. And God confirms, says, yeah, send her back and nothing will happen to you. And ask the prophet to pray for you, to give you and pray for you. That's one explanation. But that's not what how the Talmud learned it. The Talmud learned it in entirely more deeper meaning. And Rashi here follow that. The Talmud learned it not only you are dead not because of forbidden force. You are dead from the moment you abducted her. How come? From the past. How come? Of course, Hashem says, Elohim says to him, of course, not for transgressing adultery because I didn't allow you. And besides, you didn't know that she is married. So you're not dead for that, but you are dead for the kidnapping. Who told you, Abimelech, that even though she is unmarried, suppose she is unmarried, on what law, on what merit did you come and abduct her from her brother home? Can you violated no commandment, theft, and it's punishing by death. That's why you're dead. And what did Abimelech claim? Abimelech claimed, I did it with clean hand. I thought that I am allowed. I am allowed. I am exempt. God, I know your law, but I am exempt. Why? First, I am the king. I am the owner of the place, and everything belongs to me. And she is unmarried. Secondly, I carry my morality from where I come from the Greek island, from the Philistine land. And my tradition says that the king can take anyone he wants. How do I know that the explanation is true? Look at the story of Troy. What happened there? The story of Troy is about 12 BC. This is a few hundreds later after Rabbi, but still, Troy was just one of the Greek settlements that for hundreds of years, the Greeks spread to the east. They established settlement along the shore of the Mediterranean, from Turkey to Syria, Antiochia, to Sidon there, and to the Canal of Canaan, Philistine, and everywhere they invaded the land, not too deep, and they established the colonies along the shore, who actually had a lot of trade and political relationship to Greek. These were the Philistines. So the culture and the faith of the Philistines were ancient Greek. Now, Troy, the story of Troy is like this. Several versions of the story, but the main story is that Aphrodite, she loved the king Pharis, the son of the king of Troy, if I remember it correctly. She loved him, and she said, Pharis, I promise you, if you be my friend, I will give you the prettiest woman on earth. And she pointed it at Helena, the wife of the king of Sparta. So she initiated, although Helena is a married woman. Now Pharis followed her advice. He traveled to Sparta, abduct, according to that version. They are not really lovers, but he abducted her from her husband's home, and he ran away with her to his father, home, Troy. Now, the offended husband, now the status of a woman in Greek, ancient Greek, was she's she's owned by her husband. And such an insult is a violation of the king's ownership, not only dignity. So the king of Sparta assembled all the nations, the kingdom of Greek, and you know the story. And for 10 years now they besieged Troy. Now the question, ask yourself, the people of Troy defended their king, the local prince, defended him by their life. They fought for 10 years to defend him. How many people were killed to defend Pharis and his beloved Helena? although she is a married woman. Unless they believe that what is forbidden for a regular person is not forbidden for the king, and certainly not for the gods. They didn't have any sense of idolatry or adultery as a sin against God. Here Aphrodite herself tell him to go and take her. So this is Abimelech's morality. And he slept it, he carried it into what he learned from Shem. So he carries idolatry, or I won't call it idolatry, he carried his tradition and morality into the new faith. Not too different from Melchizedek. He still have this, for me, God, I did it clean-handed, he said. Said it twice. First, I didn't know that she is married. Secondly, for me, it's allowed. The Talmud, that's the explanation of the Talmud. He claimed, for me, I'm exempt. For me, it is allowed. I quote you the Rambam, and God said, oh, no. Your claim is rejected. I don't take it. To me, you should have learned it. If you abandoned idolatry, abandon all of it. And if you didn't, still, then I punish you anyhow. You should have learned it. I quote to you the Rambam. Come directly from here. The Rambam says, in the law of the kings, he has two laws. He says, first of all, he says, a son of Noah who had a mistake, he cohabited with a married woman, let's say, unknowing that she's married, he's exempt. That's law number one. Then law number two, he says, but if a son of Noah comes and says, I didn't know the law, or I forgot the law, or I deny the law, and he cohabited with his friend's wife, he is liable for death, violating Noahide law. Although he can claim, I didn't know the law, or I denied it from Abimelech, or my morality is different. So everything we just said culminate in the Rambam two laws that come from our section. And the Rambam simply follow the Talmud. As you know, the Rambam is only giving the halacha, but he derived it from the Talmud. Now, the Talmud, actually, why the Talmud deal with it at all? Because the Talmud take it to expand it to other fields. When people say my morality does not fit God's morality, from some reason, I have another tradition. I learned from another school of philosophy. I know who you are. I know Hashem. I know the Bible. It's not a matter of ignorance. But my not personality, my new belief, my society, my morality is different. Morality is actually a matter of choice, and I have my own choice. To me, I hear you, God, but I have my own set of moral laws. That's where the Talmud takes it. And I'll give you an example for the time we have. Another sexual morality question that fit our story, take homosexuality. Okay. Now, homosexuality was very prevalent in ancient time. In Egypt, in Canaan, in Greece, it was never thought about something forbidden. Actually, in Greek, it was hailed as a very nice thing to do. In the Olympics, the master usually slept with the disciples. It was honor, a big honor to the disciple to sleep with the master. And you know, Alexander the Great he had all the women he could have, men could have, but his best beloved one was his childhood sexual partner. So in ancient time, it was very common, very natural things. Here comes the Torah and says twice to Noah, to Adam in Eden, it says, therefore, at the moment a woman was formed, the verse says, therefore man should leave his wife, his mother and his father, cleave to his wife and become one. Only man and woman, sanctioned by God. Homosexuality there is forbidden indirectly. So Noahide law cover homosexuality, forbidden. Then Moses comes, and the book of Leviticus, he says to Israel, whoever male sleep with another male, it's an abomination, they should be put to death. So it's repeated twice, to Noahide, one to Israel. So that's why it applied to both. But in ancient time, the meaning of the law was very simple. If you transgress the law, it's equivalent to sexual promiscuity in the eyes of Torah. The flood generation, one of the sin of the flood generation was they corrupted away homosexuality. We discussed it before. So they not only transgress adultery with a married woman, but also sexuality, homosexuality, even bestiality. So in those generations, when it was so common and the society was so corrupt in the eyes of God, so homosexuality was a sign, was taken as a sign of corruption. But this was ancient time. As we learn, as humanity told, let me repeat one more point here. What was the perception behind the law of homosexuality given to Adam and then to Israel? That you can overcome a normal man and a regular man and a regular woman can overcome the sexual attraction like any other sexual desire. The same way I should overcome my attraction to a married woman, and I can overcome it, I can control it, the same way you can overcome your homosexuality. It was taken as part of this prohibition against promiscuity, which is in your hand. The same way I would overcome my attraction to sleep with my sister, which in Egypt they perform it day and night. But I can decide not to do it. The same way I can overcome my homosexuality inclination or desires. Everyone may have such desires here and there. And I can overcome them not different than I can overcome my desire to sleep with my sister. So that was a common view, which is still prevalent among many rabbis today, that they look at this as the same token. It's in your hand, and you can overcome it if you just desire. But over time, I'm talking about halachic approach. Over time, we learn that this is, as more and more people refrain from homosexuality in the open, let's say Christianity took over, even Islam took over, monotheism, the rampant homosexuality, it was on the street, so prevalent, is gone. And the people who are now attracted to it, more and more, are not really rebellion against God, or they cannot overcome they don't want to overcome their desire, they simply cannot. So we learn more and more that there is a segment in our society, in mankind, that simply cannot cope with this prohibition. How should we treat them? Especially that we notice that if you try to change those people and to enforce it on them, they become miserable. They live miserable life. They cannot perform, they cannot be good husbands or good wives. They are never happy. And many end up with suicide or just leaving the faith altogether. And more and more as we start to realize that, we've now formed the halachic approach. And the halachic approach, which is, by the way, this is common to many halachic issues, halachic approach follow what we learn here. Should follow. A person should never say, I am allowed. God gave, I know the Bible, but I don't feel, to me, it doesn't touch me. My set of values is higher than God, or at least equal. I can choose. My choice to run my life is my own. Can't teaching. Nobody should teach me how to run my own life. And I have different set of values. Why should I abide by ancient law and to ruin my life? I live only once. And I will move to a place in the far west of United States where society accepts it as normal. So that's one way that people might solve it, to say, to me, I know God, like Abimelech said. I know God, I know your, but I don't really fear your retribution, and actually, I think it's not warranted, your retribution, because I have my own set. You gave me free of choice, and I decide to follow my inclination to do whatever I want. To me, it's allowed. If you say to me it's allowed, you consider not rebelling, but certainly you're not fearing God retribution that is always there. Like you follow Abimelech. So what is the proper way? And I suggest here the proper way is to see to tell yourself, if you are caught in that situation, or to tell ourselves in society, it's not that the God law is allowed, or I'm negative. Yes, I follow the God, I follow the law, but it does not apply to me. Why? Because my definition of male and female is so different today what was in the past, that is simply this simple declaration, male and male should not cohabit, today it needs a little elaboration. What is male? And what is a female? We have so many different, today scientifically, psychologically, and scientifically and genetically, the whole spectrum of male. It's a very old-fashioned to say, oh, male is a male and female is a female. Yes, when a male, ideal man, an ideal female, who have the all genetic setup as it should, all the hormones work properly, all the receptor works properly, all the wires in the head works properly. These two people, these two ideal female, should not cohabit with themselves because they have the choice. Because an ideal man is not attracted to another male. Ideal man is attracted to a woman. And if he cohabits with another male, it's a sexual promiscuity. He has a capacity to overcome it. So ideal men and male women, yes, for them it's applied. But for thousands of people, a million of people, actually most people, this definition of male and female is very challenged today. Knowing that, I don't say that the law is mutar, for me is mutar. I say, yeah, I believe in God, but it does not apply to me. I am not ideal man, and I'm not ideal female. And it does not apply. And if society understands it, it's up to us. The more we understand about science, the more we become smarter and smarter. We understand that we need to accommodate those people, to give them opportunity to live happily, and not to smear them with the curses and saying they're abomination and all these things, and not to throw them out of the house, teenagers. We need to love them and show them the right way, because they are suffering. And God, the point is, God would not give us laws that cause misery. Elohim will not give us laws that will end up with suicide. Moses waits for us to understand more and more, and to put our new scientific knowledge into the law and give a new, not interpretation, to just simply understanding who is involved and who is not. That approach is very common to the Torah. That approach is also, I'll give you chapter 1, the story of Genesis. If you read it on the surface, it's an ancient story, meaningless. But if you know science, wow, it opens your eyes. It becomes a miraculous chapter. Because of our science, it becomes a meaningful chapter. Day is every the sixth day are 6 historical era stages in the health history. If you look at it, you beat of the fifth science, you stand in awe. So we need to, so Moses kind of wait. When he wrote the law, he said, I cannot explain it to my generation. Right now, humanity is afflicted with so much homosexuality that it's meaningless to start to talk about even this thing. First of all, we need to know the law to stop this rampant homosexuality. A day will come and humanity will learn more and more about itself. And I want humanity to learn more about itself. I want humanity to understand it. And we will understand what sexuality is all about, and what is a male, what is a female, what is and not to just smear people and destroy their lives. So many teenagers commit suicide. It's horrible. It's horrible. I know that each one of us, people like that. How can you close your eyes? People are crying. How can you still slap ideas that from the past that is in your hand? There are situations that's in your hand, but there are many people who just, it's not in their hand. Okay. So that's a kind of offshoot from our segment that we started with the idea of, to me, it's from Abimelech, who carry his idolatry or from former tradition to Noahide, and he says, to me, I'm not forbidden. And Elohim says to me, no, I don't accept that claim. You should have learned more. And now Hashem says to us, also, I don't accept your claim that I'm cruel. I gave you a cruel law that says homosexuality is forbidden. Oh, this God is cruel. He put people so much misery. Learn about yourself and see that I'm not cruel at all. I just don't allow situations that is under control. But those people who are not under control, learn about yourself, learn what is male and what is female, and you will understand more about my laws. Because I'm the creator of nature. I'm creator of mankind. You should learn it. The same way it says to Abimelech, you should learn it. Okay. Any question for me? I know it's a very touchy problem, but I can speak more about it, and I know that people higher than me, Rabbi is more important than me, but I just gave you what I read and what I understand, how we come out. I follow the Talmud here. So with this, we finish now. We break now our course because I'm going to Israel, God willing, for Pesach, and we'll resume it on May 20, Monday night, God willing. So thank you for being with me. God bless you, and have a good Passover yourselves. Take care.
Thank you, Rabbi. Safe travel.
Thank you, Rabbi. Safe travels.
Bye.